back in town, we built this city. We built this city.
It was so hard not to do the
We
brick
built
house
this city on rock and
that
roll.
we talked about yesterday, Ryan. Brick house
for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that left such an impression with you that entered your drawing.
Yeah, it did.
Because that was a conversation we literally had for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was, and I remembered it very vividly.
Wow.
Guys, show me what you're sipping on. Show me what you're sipping on.
I finished me a little Cokie Zero like 5 minutes before we got on here, so I kind of got nothing.
I got a little topless chica.
Yo, that should be called Twist and Shout, and we should do like a sad like girl slow-mo rendition of Set and Shout.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
In reference to the critically acclaimed season finale of True Detective Season 4 Night Country.
That was
more like Boring Country. More like Night of a Living Snore.
Horrible TV show.
More like Whores Abound.
That show sucked.
Hey,
not good.
You want to hear what the first sound that got invented? It's this. It's the beautiful sound of a young twink boy opening a Coke Zero.
I love that sound.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Y'all, here we are on a Wednesday for our very first graveyard shift. How exciting is that? Are y'all excited? Are you full of excitement?
I'm full of excitement, joy, and lust, I'd say, because I may have an issue I want to talk to you guys about.
I don't think you have any issues to bring up. I think everything's perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so simple there. Fix that.
Perfect. Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
That's what friends are for, really.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of fix everything. So I just another in the books for Ryan. Just fix that problem. Aaron's busting from excitement. She's been clamoring. Yeah, she's busting up. She's been clamoring for some graveyard shift. This is going to be our little weekly Wednesday thing, and we're going to see what we do with it. It might look a little bit different week to week. We'll see. But the intention is for us just to sit here for 2 hours, minimum, roughly, and just chat, kind of like podcast style like we used to. So I think that'll be exciting, because we love the chatting portions of our game streams, but obviously want to actually have more game. So this is a great outlet for us to hit every point. And correct me if I'm wrong, boys, but I think we're the funniest people that ever lived. So we're really just kind of gifting the people our comedic abilities. So
yeah, and I think one of the best ways that we can be the funniest versions of ourselves is reaction content, baby. So I've got some YouTube videos
I will
clipped up for you guys.
I will leave the Discord.
First reaction, we've got Badlands Chugs.
No, we're not doing this. We've
got chugging some prime bottles.
Will
he do it
serious.
Under 20 seconds?
1,000,000% serious. I'm not doing this.
I didn't have them queued up, but I thought
I know you did it because you knew I would kill myself live on air.
Josh, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What do you think is the best way to bring out the funniest versions of yourself? Because I think reacting to other people's hard work is one of my favorite forms of being the funniest person alive. How would you being the funniest person alive, how would you output that? How would you do that?
I think all of my humor is very situational. You know what I mean? I as much as I abhor it, I have to be put in the situation, and then the reaction to that, to my personal circumstances, is funny enough for me.
Mm-hmm. Chat.
Yeah, Josh jokes about it, but in truth, the child yearns for the situation.
Yeah.
Does it?
For the conflict.
Yeah, it yearns. It yearns.
Yeah, you yearn for it. You simply do.
Okay, well, this is news to me.
Josh is like, I'm the yearn. Okay, we're gonna have a little. We are here just to talk, not to game, but we are just gonna give you all a little visual stimulant for those of you who watch these instead of just listening to these. So you're welcome.
I mean, I'm gonna be fully playing the game, but I'll also be talking to it. Wait. Sorry, Bryce. I thought you said you had a problem you wanted to discuss or something.
Oh, no, it's all fixed. Thank you, Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Yeah, he fixed it.
Oh.
He did it.
Sorry, I was so focused on the craft.
Yeah.
I'm sure you understand.
I'm learning to. I'm listening and learning.
I wanted to bring a topic to you guys, and I know we've been pestering Ryan for it over these past couple weeks. Helldivers 2 has been blowing up in popularity. And it's kind of crazy that the past, 3 games that have like really blown up have been like indie titles. Indie, I guess, Pal World. And when it comes to Lethal Company, Pal World, and Helldivers 2, while Helldivers is published by Sony, it being not a $60, $70 game, do you guys think that what it's showing us in this past couple months will shift the gaming industry at all in its thought process?
Like in terms of
like pricing, like
people like
publishers,
Sony
like
publishing indie games?
what kind of games people are looking for? Because it seems like it's like co-op is like what these past 3 games have really been like striving for. So like you got to think of like Lethal Company. You have the 4 friends. Pal World can be like an open world with your friends, and then you got Helldivers 2, which is like a very cooperative experience. Do you think with the explosion of this, I mean, co-ops have always been popular, but the explosion of these games especially, do you think more co-op games are going to be shown in the future?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I would say though that I don't think we're seeing anything new necessarily. I mean, look what's dominated in the last 7 years with Fortnite, and before that, what was it, PUBG? I think hopping online with friends, as soon as people got Wi-Fi, that was like the first thing that they did with gaming. It was the thing that pushed gaming to where it is now, when they were trying to break away from just LAN. And, you know, even if you think of before video games existed, the only reason we have video games is because of D&D, right? And things like that and Magic. So, you know, I think co-optional is the default, and really single player is the anomaly, which I enjoy more as a gamer, not as like a person who loves to connect to people, but as someone who likes to play games. I prefer single player experiences because I love a story.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think that we'll see any significant kind of shift here, because I think this is the norm. Are we even
You don't think
seeing
that this is like a trend, like for this?
No, because I think if you look back at games that have had this level of popularity before, like these last few months, I think you could point out the same structure, you know, every few months back, and you'd see the same sort of thing. But at the same time, I'm not here to disagree with you about these specific titles, but I'm on TikTok every day. I'm in gaming spaces and spheres and Reddit and YouTube and all these different things, but I don't see anybody talking about Helldivers 2. I didn't even know it existed until you two asked me to get it. I've never heard of it before then. I've never heard of Helldivers 1. And I haven't seen anybody else talk about it. So I'm not saying it's not popular, but it's not in my spaces. And I wonder if your spaces are ones that are closerly tied to what should I say, like development studios are paying attention to those kind of consumers. Are they even paying attention to consumers and just paying attention to, okay, this was an experiment, this sold, this was an experiment, this didn't sell, so go with this, you know?
Yeah.
I think in the same vein, you could look at like Nintendo during the Wii U era. When the Wii was selling so well, they said, okay, well, let's only focus on kids. And then they focused on kids for like so long. Yeah. But guess what? You can't really learn that data until like 5 years later.
Yeah.
When it's too late for you to shift gears. So yeah, I don't know. I think Bryce, I think you're very optimistic, because if we lived in a society, if we lived in a consumer market that cared about, you know, the consumer and did things that were pro-consumer, then yes, we would see larger AAA companies, people like publishers like Sony, Square Enix, whoever, they would be funding games where people enjoyed playing them more than they could squeeze the dollar out of the richest player. You know what I mean?
They're whales. Yeah, absolutely. And that's, at the end of the day, publishers like Sony, like Xbox, like, I don't know, Nintendo would be in that, but it's definitely those two are chasing the money, and most publishers are. That's where they're going, and that's why the battle royale genre in general blew up and died like so fast, because they saw how much money Fortnite was making and wanted to hop onto that trend. And you're seeing things like Call of Duty and any other X battle royale game. The other trend that's like trying to like pop out is the extraction shooter. I've seen a little bit more pop in that, because we've got Bungie's extraction shooter that they're making. They've got I think there's been like some other like extraction shooters that have died already.
Can you explain that to me? I don't understand what an extraction shooter is.
So an extraction shooter is like a third or first person shooter where you go into like an open world, similar to like how Fortnite is. Like you have like a battle bus and you drop down, right? But you have this stash in your main inventory screen, your main page, and that'll have all the items that you extracted with in your adventures out into that open world. If you die,
sort of like a skyblock situation.
Kind of. I'm not really familiar with Skyblocks too much. The only one I know is like Hypixels. You have this inventory and you collect loot in that open world map, and then you extract with that loot. And if you extract with that loot, you can put it in the stash that you have in that main inventory screen, and then use that in your next raids or like extractions. But if you die with any of the material, you will lose that forever, and other players can take that from you. So that's like a lot of like appeal. It's kind of like a hardcore-ish experience. The only one that's really succeeded is Tarkov. The Cycle was like a more casual-led extraction shooter that tried to break off some of that community, because not everyone wants such a hardcore experience to where you get like one shot across the map, and you know.
Yeah, I think I've been seeing a lot of fatigue against sweats. Like, you've always had your sweats and you've always had your fight against it. But when everything is becoming a competition game, you know, then I think people are really getting the fatigue of, I just want to get on a game and just play.
Have fun. Yeah, exactly.
And be fine and not worry about somebody putting me in a clip somewhere.
And that brings us exactly to the point of like these co-op games that have come out. It's like, maybe that's what people yearn for. That's what the people yearn for. The fun, like, co-op games. Like Helldivers 2 does have its like his like intense moments, right? But I'd say the fun factor outweighs its intensity. Josh, now that you've put some time into Helldivers 2, how would you like weigh in on this like extraction v like what kind of like the market wants, I guess you should say?
I mean, I would definitely agree that there's a lot of growth in kind of the extraction. I guess if that's what it's being called now, the extraction shooter thing, then yeah, there's definitely been a lot of people trying to hop on that. I don't know if Helldivers doesn't really count as that. And I would also say Helldivers is kind of a special exception in the sense where their devs seem very like, we just want this game to be fun for everyone. Yeah. Like, you know, they seem very like no stop, like they're very anti-sweat and stuff. Like, I know that currently there have been people that have been coming up with like the meta builds and stuff and will kick people from their groups if they don't exhibit that. But the devs themselves seem like that's actually stupid, and I think I heard that they were trying to like look into punishing that, because they're like, meta builds are stupid, like just play the game and have fun. Yeah. Which I think is fire. So I'm very happy with their dev team for doing stuff like that. I hope that they don't really follow the extraction shooter route, because I don't think Helldivers 2 lends itself to that. But it wouldn't surprise me if they did. A lot of
people think Helldivers 2 is somewhat kind of like an extraction, like a pseudo extraction shooter, because at the end of the day, you are kind of extracting out. You're not gaining anything other than maybe your samples that you collect, that are like upgrade materials for your character as like a long-term sense of progression. But I wouldn't consider that Helldivers 2 would ever go down an extraction route. I'm curious to say that, like, how would I put this? The extraction market is, I think, always going to have to appeal to the hardcore crowd, because the amount of items that you'll get, the amount of time investment that you need in those types of games versus like items extracted, I don't think those really equate to fun factor when it comes to a game, at least personally, because you have to have like a lot of time. And as like I grow older, I'm noticing like trying to find time for a game to try to put that many hours in such a long and arduous task, it's kind of like takes that fun factor out of it.
I feel something similar to that, where I want a game, like I want a game right now, but it's something about picking it up that's the hardest part. Because I know once I start, I'll be sucked into it, I'll have a good time. But I just feel like there are easier things I could do right now. You know, like, does that make any sense? Do y'all ever feel that? Like, I had my Switch, I'll bring my Switch with me, like from the game room to the bedroom to the living room, and I'll just bring it, and then I don't touch it. You know, like I've got the game I want to play, and I keep thinking, oh, I'm going to bring it because I'm going to play it. And then I don't. I sit there, and maybe I'll pick up a book because it's easier just to flip a page, or I'll read or watch something instead, and I just don't touch it for some reason. But once I finally do, I know I'll have fun. I don't know.
Well, I have a hard time starting anything, you know, whether that's TV shows or books or video games and whatever, like all of those things. I have about 500,000 items in my backlog. I just have such a hard time kind of finding the motivation and like I don't know, as lame as it sounds, like the energy, I guess, to like put into something, which is like lame, but it's like yeah, I know if I do it, I'll probably just enjoy it, but it's just hard for me to start, and so I just like don't, and then I just end up watching the same 3 YouTube videos a million times.
YouTube has always been an easy thing for me to at least go to, because typically those are things that I've already bitten off one little piece of.
Yeah.
Because like I watch my Let's Plays or whatever, and I feel like, oh, this is just the next part. So that's
Well,
always
it's
been
also
easy
like
to return to.
the content is so bite-sized, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh yeah, okay, I have 10 minutes to spare on a video, you know what I mean? Rather than 40 minutes on an episode of a TV show, or
Sure.
an hour on this section of this video game,
Yeah.
or 40 minutes on a book chapter or whatever, depending on what it is. So I think it's like the bite-sized nature of it like appeals to me, which
Sure.
like I hate to make, because I feel like that makes it sound like I have the attention span of a goldfish type thing or whatever. But no, it's not that. It's just I just almost feel like I don't have the time, or like
Right.
or it's like if I'm going to start something and enjoy it and focus on it and stuff, like I want to be able to like give all of my time and attention
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big problem for me.
I feel like a lot of YouTube, at least the kind that I ingest, I can listen and not watch if need be. I
Sure.
prefer to do both, but I could just listen if need be. With a show, I have to be there. I have to be in
Right.
it,
Agreed. Agreed.
Are y'all big on rewatching the stuff you've already watched?
Not really.
Like, I know Reed is very much into that. Like my younger sister, she will just rewatch the same 4 shows over and over and over again. I'm like, how do y'all do that?
I think
I get having
that-
a comfort show or whatever, but I gotta do new stuff. Like the same things over and over and over again. Like these long shows too. She'll watch like all of Doctor Who for the 5th time. I'm like, that's crazy.
It'll just depend on what's going on. Because like, if I rewatch it by myself? Probably not. But I'm very big on rewatching stuff with people. So yeah, I think I've seen Demon Slayer through probably like 5 times now. Same with Jujutsu Kaisen season 1 of the movie, as I've seen both of those like a million bajillion times.
What's the show you've rewatched the most? Is it Demon Slayer, Josh?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably Demon Slayer for me.
Ryan, what about you? What's the show you've rewatched the most?
Yeah, I don't know. Like all the way through, that'd be hard to say. Even Naruto, I've only watched all the way through only once. But that's probably my favorite anime. But if I think like Ava, because it's so short, I've probably watched it 4 or 5 or 6 times, But I don't know if that's really, but that's kind of more like because I sit here and watch it myself more because I introduce it to different people.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I think
response.
that's a majority of like a lot of people is just like, because I've rewatched a bajillion shows with Erin, just because like she hasn't
You're
seen
introducing
them,
her.
and I'm like, dude, you gotta watch this. Like this is so good. The show that I've watched individually by myself is The Bear. Like The Bear is the show that I go back to. That is like my guilty pleasure. Is like I go back and I watch that show like all the time. 'Cause, the first season especially, I love the first season.
If there was a show that I could just come back and watch again and again, it would probably be in Puppy Cat. That's probably the show that'd be the easiest for me just to come in and just start over and over again.
Kathy, do you ever
being Puppy Cat
watch new shows while you do that kind of stuff, or do you like to give it that attention? I'm very much like kind of like Josh Pilled, where it's like it's hard to start like a new thing and then like continue. For me, it's continue watching it. Like I have to stay hooked like pretty consistently to continue watching any shows.
I'm very much not that. If I start something, I have to finish it much to my detriment. There's been very few things where I've dropped it and just said I can't do it anymore.
I have a big problem of like I'll start something and like be really into it, and I'll just like watch and then burn myself out on it. And then I'm like I have to put this down because I'm just not enjoying it anymore. And then I have trouble picking it back up, which sucks. It's never that I hated the thing. It's just that I can't bring myself to start it back up again after stopping it.
Yeah.
But I stopped it not because it was bad, just because I was like, damn, like I'm really burned out on this. And it happened like Mr. Robot, one of the best shows I ever made. But it was like I watched seasons 1, 2, 3, and then like half of 4 or whatever in like 3 days or something.
That's crazy.
And then I was just like, I can't watch any more TV right now.
Do you even remember your what happens in those time frames? Because I remember when I read like Chainsaw Man, like I could barely tell you like what happened unless like I saw it in front of me.
Yeah, so Chainsaw Man is actually a great example because I definitely have that issue. I guess it's a couple months ago now, but yeah, they started finally printing the the part 2 and stuff, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm so excited for this. But I haven't been able to start it because I'm like, well, I should probably go back and kind of reread the first part because I read it and same like in the span of a week or something. I remembered everything then, and I remember, like the main beats and stuff. I'm just afraid there are like details I'm missing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like I know, like yes, I know what happens, but then I'm like, oh, I don't know if I remember all the details of this one part, and I should probably get that figured out.
That was the issue I was having, like, whenever a new season of Game of Thrones would come out. They'd be like, do you remember when Grindlethorpe killed him? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. That's why I really like when shows do that, do those recaps, like right before you do that. Like, I'm like, I need that. I need that.
I need a little picture on the bottom of the screen that says they're talking about this guy right now. This is who they're talking about. I remember he died 5 episodes ago. Like, oh yeah.
Yes. Did you talk to Patricia Glorbliano? And I'm like, oh yeah. I saw it.
even now, like we're rewatching Sopranos, or like I'm rewatching it, and even though I just watched it and y'all are watching it the first time, when I watched it the first time, I was like, why did they blow up Artie's restaurant? I never really got it. I was like, why did they do that? Like, just because he's like the mobster? Because he just does that? And was it just because he wanted to get some of the insurance money? I never connected that it was because he was trying to get Junior to not kill a guy in his restaurant. Yeah. So this time I was like, oh, duh. So yeah,
I get that. I have that issue too.
Yeah, sometimes those like maybe I'll rewatch it again after many years. Like I want to go rewatch Mad Men again because it's been almost a decade since I've watched it. Now that I'm like an adult, how am I going to take it differently? Am I going to get things I didn't when I watched the first time? But I think I know I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but I feel like that's a different thing than what I was talking about. Like my sister will rewatch the same show over again because she'll just be like, "Oh, I just know this. It's easy to just have on," you know. But more so, I'm just like Lost. I watched it when it was coming out, but I was like 8 years old. And then I watched it again about like 10 years ago. And now I'm thinking about watching it again because I'm like, okay, the real first time I watched it was 10 years ago. So now again, as an adult, what will I grab differently? Because at the same time, I'm the kind of guy who likes to be like, oh, referencing this show and referencing this moment in this show. But then I'm like, well, how relevant is this reference I'm making? Because maybe I don't remember the way that I thought it did. Mm-hmm. So I also kind of want to not be a liar.
Well, I did that with Breaking Bad. Is like, I watched that freshman year of high school, I think, and I liked it, but I kind of had a like not the same view I have of it now and stuff. I don't know, like maybe it was just because of like who I was at the time or whatever, blah 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 blah. But I went and rewatched it probably about a year ago, and completely different outlook. I was like, never mind, I totally understand why this is like one of the best shows ever made. Like it's so good and all this stuff. So I agree with that. I think it's a little bit different than rewatching it for the sake of rewatching it, but kind of like, will I understand something different? Will there be a different?
Sagi Sakura asked, do you guys like to go into shows completely blind, or do you guys have to do research first?
That's a great question.
I love to go into shows blind. I am so anti-spoiler. This is like when I'm like really excited about a game or anything, because like I'm a huge like Last of Us guy. So when like 2 came out and spoilers were like everywhere, I actually ended up spoiling it for myself, but I'm very like anti-spoiler. Like I will get so upset if I see any spoiler for anything that like that I'm looking forward to, or anything that I'm not looking forward to. I'm like, no, please don't tell me anything. I want to be just as surprised in the moment as like everyone else was when they first watched the show. That's like what I think.
I cannot believe that you don't know what the ending of The Sopranos is, and that could not make me happier.
Yeah.
Because I cannot wait to get there and see your reaction. I knew it, but in context, it's not at all what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And I go back and rewatch it all the time because I can't believe it. I can believe what happened. I'm just like, it's just done so well. It's crazy. So yeah, I agree. I absolutely love going blind. But that being said, I will do research while I watch a show or read a book. Like, Josh, I know you're definitely the same way. I was just reading a book called Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, who did the Grishaverse, if you don't know what that is. It takes place on Yale campus, modern day Yale campus. And she's referencing all these like locations and buildings and historical things. And I had one chapter left in the book, like right before the ending. I was like, I'm going to get lost on Wikipedia actually for like 3 hours looking into all the things she's talking about, just because before I finish this, because this is her last book on it too, I was like, before I like finish this, I want to make sure that I'm like walking into this with like an understanding. Like try to put myself kind of in her head as she's writing this and finishing this off. I want to make sure I kind of understand. So I was lost in those pages for many hours, just understanding every like secret society and, you know, the history of the city and all that. So that was nice. So I feel like I had a better appreciation for it when I finished it than if I didn't know anything. So yeah, I'll do that, but I would get very scared about spoiling myself while I do that research though.
So I like most of the time I'll research things before and during like picking it up. I don't know why, I just like it. It makes me feel super invested where I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm really getting myself fired up about this. It's kind of like pre-gaming the media before I experience it. But here's the thing. So before I pick up something, I'm very like, I don't want to be spoiled on this. But there are times that especially if I'm watching a show and it gets really, really tense, sometimes I'll be, I have to Wikipedia this. I have to Wikipedia and know what's about to happen because like I'm freak out or something. And like, I think it's just I can't stand to like wait to know. But like, it's okay if I'm spoiling it for myself. But if someone else spoils it for me, then I'm gonna have a problem. Yeah. But the thing is like there are some times where I've engaged with media without doing any research really and just kind of on a whim, and those have been some great experiences. The Bear was one of those. Like The Bear is something I watched just kind of randomly, and I honestly don't even remember why. I think it was because I had recently watched the Chef with Jon Favreau. I love Chef. Or whatever. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, The Bear, they cook. Maybe that'll be like Chef. It could not be further from Chef.
Yeah,
but
literally.
it's just as great.
It's a masterpiece. It's a masterclass in fucking performances and writing and like an atmosphere. It's incredible. I love The Bear.
Yeah, it's so good. And then the same thing with The Last of Us and stuff, where when I played that game for the first time, you know, I didn't really know much about it and stuff like that. Like I obviously knew everyone loved it because I played it super duper late and whatever. But the ending of it, unbelievably, like I was just like, holy shit. Like I don't know, it just kind of, I wouldn't say like changed my life, but I just couldn't believe it. The ending of it was so good, and I didn't know anything about it. So when I got to that point, I was like, holy crap. Just really, really good. So I mostly do research, but the times I haven't, I've come across some stuff that really surprised me in like the best way. So maybe I should engage with media like that more, but it's just hard for me to do.
I think as we inch closer and closer talking about TV show, I am terrified that we are going to get into an Ava discussion, and I am trying to steer us as far away as possible while we're talking about this. It's funny you mentioned that, Sakura, because Josh was talking about Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, and then he just can't finish it. He just can't even finish it.
Yeah, what I was saying, Sakura, is that so I watch a lot of anime with my mom. Like whenever I watch anime, I'm like, Mom, you gotta get on this, and she'll watch it with me. And if you ask her, she'll say she doesn't like it, but she actually fucks with it heavy. She's going to see the Demon Slayer movie in theaters by herself, and I'm not even with her.
That's crazy.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 was really. I'm not gonna spoil anything for anyone, but I was really, really excited to watch it and whatever, but I got so much stuff spoiled for me, and that at first that really bothered me, and I was like, dang. But then I started watching it, and I think I got about halfway through episode 6, and me and my mom were both like, this sucks. Like, I don't know what it was. I was just like, I cannot watch this any longer. And my mom was like, yeah, no way, me neither. And it sucks because the stuff that got spoiled for me sounds awesome. It sounds so cool, and those are things I really want to see, but I know to get there and really appreciate it, I'll have to watch the rest of it, and I just could not bring myself to do it. So yeah, unfortunately you got spoiled. Same for me, but honestly, like after getting spoiled, I was like, well, I guess I'm kind of glad I did, just so I know there is good things about it and it's not all booty hole like I was watching. I think, did you all both watch season 2?
I didn't.
Ryan,
I didn't finish.
I got caught up to whatever, like I started watching it, and then I got caught up to like wherever they had just been at, you know, at the time several months ago. And I just haven't, since they've put episodes out, I haven't watched them, but I was enjoying it. I think I got further than you did, Josh. So I'm not even sure what you would have seen that would have been so bad, because I thought all of it was like fine, you know. I know there were some confusing parts as to like the barriers and stuff, like barrier inside of a barrier, but this one's not a barrier. You know, like I know that was getting a little confusing people. But honestly, I think it's one of those things where it's just like, if you don't, I mean, it's anime. It's like meant for like 14-year-olds. If I don't take it too seriously, it's just like fun and fine. You know, some of them are hot, so I can just watch that. So I don't know. I was just like chilling out and just having a time with it, not taking it too seriously. But in general, this isn't an anime that's like profound in any way. you know?
Yeah, shonen.
Sure.
It's well, even for shonen, like it's fun to watch and I enjoy the characters and I enjoy the story, but it's very derivative. I mean, there's no argument to that. It's kind of a copy paste Naruto remake, you know, modern day Japan. But that's fine. You know, I like Naruto, so I'm glad to see somebody else just kind of try their own little different spin on it. And it's just fun. You know, it's kind of nothing more than that.
I think that it just got convoluted. Like,
Sure.
and because the thing is, yeah, you don't have to take it too seriously, but that was my problem, is it kind of started to, in a way, take itself a little too seriously. And yeah, they started talking about all this like weird like stuff, and I was like, okay, hold on, I don't have any understanding of what it is y'all are talking about, and like I was like, did I miss something? And I went back and rewatched, and I was like, no, I didn't. Like, they're just throwing out jargon now, and you just have to kind of take it and run with it. And here I'm gonna bring it up, and then we don't have to talk about it. But as an Evangelion fan, I understand that like that's just how it works. You know, Evangelion, the entirety of it, you literally just have to be like, yep, they said that thing, and I'm just gonna take that, as at face value. And it's the same thing here, but it just really pissed me off with Jujutsu Kaisen because I think season 1 and the movie was just not like that. I completely agree, Sakura, is that I think that, yeah, if they just had maybe a little bit more of a simpler power structure, it would make a little bit more sense. Because once they started talking about Gojo was like, I have the 2 eyes, or whatever the fuck they called it, or whatever, I was like, what? And then they kept on talking about like the specifics of like curse techniques or something, but it just really didn't make much sense.
It fucking went over my head. I had no.
Yeah,
fucking
I was like, and so like me and my mom both got like a headache from it, where we were just like, what, and I promise my media literacy is high. I really promise it is. But I was just like, I couldn't grasp it. Like, I was like, what? Like, and you know what? It felt like the narrator was chiming in every second.
Yes!
Dude. It was like every time, like, they were like, fireball, and then the narrator was like, but to do this, he had to blah, blah. And I was like, okay, all right, like, whatever. Like, I'm sick of this. I agree. I'm glad you agree, because I thought I was going crazy, because everyone was hyping up season 2. And again, here's the thing. The stuff I got spoiled on from season 2 sounds awesome. The clips of the fights I've seen, so cool, and like all of those things seemed so sick. But I was like, wait, did everyone like understand everything that that went over my head? Am I stupid as fuck?
See, I don't even remember what you're talking about. Like, I don't remember the narrator talking that much, or I'm not saying it didn't happen, but like, I guess it just didn't.
No, dude, there was some stuff where they talk about like techniques and stuff where I'm just literally zoned out. I'm like, what? Yeah. What are you even talking about? Like the barrier stuff, I kind of got. I understood that, but yeah, when it starts talking about techniques and stuff, I think a better show that goes over like techniques is Hunter x Hunter. I think that's a show that really does a good job of explaining techniques, but I think that trope of having to explain a technique fucking sucks. Like, that shit sucks.
I don't know that I can fault the show for it too much, or any show that does this, because whenever you adapt something from a book and then you have to put it in a visual, well, I wouldn't say visual because manga is visual, but you can have author notes in manga, you can have all these different things in manga that allow you to explain something to the reader outside of the context of what the panel is showing you, right? Same thing with a book. Especially if you have a first person narrative, you're listening to somebody's thoughts, and then you watch them on a show now, and you're, as a storyteller from a visual media, unless that first person narrator from the book, who is now on a TV show, is narrating in the show as well, you have to find some very creative ways to show or tell the audience what the person is thinking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm, so I would find it very difficult. I'm not like giving a pass to the show, because if they did it convoluted, if they did it messy, people aren't happy with it, that's the show's fault. They should have found a better way to do it.
Yeah.
But I would find it very difficult to find a way to explain to an audience the very intricate details of a technique or whatever when you don't have something like what a manga or a book is able to do to convey to an audience through text and like off-panel messages that a show can't do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think it's just with season 1, they found a way to do it where, like, when coming out of season 1, I was like, I feel like I have a pretty thorough understanding of how Jujutsu sorcery works. Like, I was like, I get it and stuff like that. They explained it well and stuff. So that's why I think season 2 is so off-putting to me, because then I was like, okay, it feels like I knew nothing at all, and like we're doing all this new stuff now, and we're talking about all this stuff that I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, it really kind of threw me for a loop, and I was like, I'm just not enjoying watching this. Like, I just felt like I had like I don't know. Again, again, as an Evangelion fan, I understand that like I kind of can't be picky about that because Evangelion kind of to really fully appreciate it and fully understand it requires so much outside research of just stuff that doesn't even really involve the show to get. But I think it was just like that's kind of the point of it though, I guess. And like with Jujutsu Kaisen, I was like it feels like it like took a left turn somewhere and was like, we're doing this new thing now, and I was like, I don't know.
I wonder if in several years, when people are coming back to analyze season 2 or whatever, I wonder if people are going to appreciate the convalescence, because when you see people analyze other shows and fight scenes and they say, well, why didn't whoever use this move? You know, look at Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
In that show, if they wanted to, an earthbender could just swallow up anybody in the earth and kill him 5 seconds now.
Yeah.
Open the hole, close down.
Yep.
But there's a reason they're not going to do that, right? Because that's way too overpowered. Now, I'm not saying that children's show should have found a way to explain that they couldn't. That'd be stupid.
Right.
But will people like that this show got very convoluted and this is exactly why this person did this, this is how they did it? Because in a decade from now, whatever, they're going to look back and say, well, why didn't Yuji use what? Well, the show really went out of its way to explain that they couldn't do this because this, and you know, they really got into the specifics of the powers. You know, I'm not saying that you know voids its faults, but I wonder if that is a thought that the creators had at all. You know, if you're someone who grew up with manga and anime and now you're the ones creating it, you're always trying to solve the problems that your predecessor made, right? Yeah. That they didn't address. I wonder if that's in the back of their mind somewhere.
Well, I think that it's like the stuff I see on Twitter or whatever, it seems that a lot of people really do kind of get into the kind of the semantics of Jujutsu Kaisen and how everything works and whatever. And so I think, like, again, for them, I'm glad that they really get something out of it, that they get that thing that, you know, they get to really engage with and discuss and whatever. I fully get that. I think, like, I'm just, like, bummed that I guess I'm just not big-brained enough to get it in the same way, because Jujutsu Kaisen was something I really enjoyed. Like, when Season 1 came out, you know, I was watching as it aired, and I was like, wow, like, this is so good. You know, the movie was so good, and I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for Season 2. And then I was like, okay, well, now I feel like I'm kind of getting left behind here. And that bums me out, but at the same time, like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I agree, because everyone that, you know, seems to really understand, or at least just, you know, accept it for what it is, seems to really, really like it, and I'm glad that, you know, this is their big thing.
I think maybe a problem that people are seeing is you have people who are casual fans of something, and then you have like super hardcore fans, and you as a creator know that you have to cater to both, right? So you have to find a balance of how and when do we cater to each one, and maybe they just didn't get the balance done too well this time. Yeah, you know, maybe that's what you're saying is just an unbalance there.
Well, going back to rewatching stuff, I do fully plan on giving Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 a do-over, you know, a rewatch, and being like, okay, well, maybe now that I kind of sort of know what to expect in that regard, maybe it'll like hit a little bit more, maybe I'll pick up on stuff I missed last time and stuff, because again, I very much did like Jujutsu Kaisen and whatever, so I do want to go back and give it another shot and, you know, make sure I'm not missing out on like something awesome just because I was like, I don't know, like kind of not, I wouldn't say disappointed, just like caught off guard by what it ended up becoming. But yeah, I very much look forward to giving it another go because I really thought it was great. And all the stuff that did get spoiled for me in Season 2 was just like, wow, like I gotta know how that happens and what that is, because that is so sick. Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
I've heard the end of the Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, it really picks up and it's like gets really good. But
yeah, absolutely.
Again, like whenever I like watch a show, if it doesn't keep me hooked, I'll just drop it. I don't care. It means nothing to me.
Sure.
3 points. The first one I remembered. I wonder if obviously they're making this for a Japanese audience, right? We as Westerners just kind of like not that we're lucky to get it, but like it's nice when we like the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It works out well. But I wonder if that kind of intricacy is geared to a Japanese audience. If they more so like that stuff, do they get into the details like only the hardcore fans do in the West, you know? I wonder if that's more tailored towards them. I'd just be curious to see. I don't know. My other point was in terms of rewatching to better grasp. I think it'll be a very long time before I do this, but we have roasted TD season 4 to death. I'm curious if that is a much better watch on a second watch through, when you're not constantly worried about how is this gonna be this? How I hate this character. Are they ever gonna get better? Now that I know how bad everybody is, now that I know how stupid the ending is, if I'm not trying to figure it out the whole time and just get frustrated that I'm not going to get the answers that I'm trying to work out, and could I just sit back and watch something that I already know and just enjoy what's on screen much more? You know, I think again, it'd be like a very long time before I ever try to do that. But I bet that is a season that's better on a second watch through. And then my third point is, Josh, psychologically, what is the chance that you, in the back of your mind, wanted Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 to fail because you love Demon Slayer so much and you don't want the competition between the two to exist anymore? I'm kidding,
true.
but I'm kind of not kidding.
Yeah,
is there a possibility that you were...
Josh is a Jujutsu Kaisen hater. It's confirmed.
That you were kind of being a hater.
No.
Liar.
Here's the thing: is Demon Slayer already gets enough unnecessary hate. You know, I really never understand
the animation's
it. Like,
good, right? That's all they say.
That's it. Yeah, they're like, Demon Slayer sucks. He doesn't only care about its animation. Actually, shut up and die, because you're wrong. Like, you're just wrong. Like, I try to value and respect everyone's opinions. I will not even entertain this. I'm like, you're just not watching this. Or I'm like, what? You hate the indomitable human spirit? That upsets you? Sorry. I'm sorry, this isn't sad enough for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Demon Slayer's fire. But no, I wanted Jujutsu Kaisen to succeed. I know that you're saying it in jest and stuff, but in truth, slash J. I wanted Jujutsu Kaisen to succeed because I love that too. Not as much as I love Demon Slayer, but I liked it, a lot, and I was excited to see Yuta and Gojo, of course. Yuji's cool and everything. There will be enough people writing and dying for Demon Slayer, meaning me and apparently 2 other people on Twitter, but still, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. If Jujutsu Kaisen can grip me back, that'd only be a plus.
I love Demon Slayer. I do. I don't have any criticisms to make of it. And so this isn't like a but I would say animation's good, but I don't even care about it that much. I kind of even don't like the art style so much. But that's not like a criticism. It's just like, in terms of anime art styles, it's like I like other ones more. I like that it is unique though. Like, there's not another one that looks like that, and I think that's cool. I'm glad they're not all doing the Violet Evergarden thing, which that's not saying that it doesn't look good, but that's what everybody's trying to do. I think that if that show, and again, not a criticism, please don't take it as that. I think if that show didn't have gore, it would just be a kid show, through and through. Because really, if you strip away like the blood in that show, it really is just like, I'll do it, and he does it. It's kind of just, no matter what, I'm gonna win, and I do.
Yeah, but I don't.
It's a little Paw Patrol-y.
Like, I get that, and I think we've even had this discussion, but I don't know. I would disagree, or whatever with that. I think that Tanjiro goes through a lot of struggle to do what he does. Does he end up doing it in the end? Sure, but he's constantly having to evaluate himself and be like, why does it seem like every time I feel like I finally got stronger, I just get the rug pulled out from under me again? I end up back in square one, and I just can't do everything that I feel I need to do, or whatever. And it's so he's constantly struggling with that and whatever. He does end up doing the thing, but it's only after a lot, and it's usually, the thing is he can't do that stuff by himself. He has to have someone there to help him. People have to either sacrifice themselves for the benefit, the greater good, I guess, or whatever. He can't just naturally do these things. It's stuff that he has to receive help, and he's humble in that regard, where he's like, I can't do this, but that's okay. I have to ask for help, and I'm not above that. I think he goes through enough struggle, but I understand what you're saying, and I wouldn't even necessarily disagree, because when I watched the new movie sort of thing, the first episode of season 4, last episode of season 3, whatever, there was a moment where I kind of thought that, where I was like, interesting. But at the same time, I don't know, there's just enough stuff out there where it's just so depressing and dark all the time. And don't get me wrong, I think sad media, you kind of get better, it sticks with you longer. There's kind of a little bit more, there's more depth to it and stuff. But at the same time, that's one of the things I like about Demon Slayer is Ava and Demon Slayer are my two favorites. Whereas like Ava is just like the worst of everything, and it's like this real deep dark thing, and it's like this is the worst of humanity. Demon Slayer is like the exact opposite, where it's like if humanity was at their best all the time, it would be like this. You know what I mean? Kind of that indomitable human spirit thing, and I like that. You know, it's like as much as I love sad media, sometimes I just get so tired of everything has to be so dark and so depressing all the time. And Demon Slayer is like, yeah, this is dark and depressing, but let's work on making it better. You know what I mean? And I like that. I think like for me, it just makes me happy to see that. Spy Family is I love Spy Family for the same thing, where it's like nothing bad ever happens in that show, and if something bad happens, it's there's something comedic that happens right after the fact, and it's like it's just so refreshing to watch something where it's like this is just fun, like it's just good. There's nothing that makes me feel bad about it when I watch it, I guess. So like I see what you're saying, but like I think there's honestly room in the world for that, and Demon Slayer, you know, fills that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I just and again, I feel like I don't know how to kind of pick apart the characters without it sounding like a criticism, but I just hope anybody listening will believe me that this isn't me trying to roast the show. It feels to me Tanjiro is like if Japan made Hercules, like Disney's Hercules.
Yeah.
You know, because like real Hercules or Heracles, if you know his story, he goes crazy. He kills his family. He like eats his kids and his wife or something. Like it's very tragic what happens to him.
The music playing in the background as you're saying this is so funny, dude. It's like this upbeat jungle beat, and it's just like he kills his kids, he eats his wife, like.
Well, then Disney does their take, and of course they're going to Disney-fy it. And Hercules is a great movie, don't get me wrong. But of course he's just like, every battle that comes my way, I may face challenges, but here I am to fix it. And he does, and it's great. He kind of doesn't necessarily have to sacrifice anything himself. It's the people around him that choose to lend their lives to his battle for the greater good. And that's great. And it's a good movie because everybody comes together and they support the one guy they know can fix it. That's what Demon Slayer feels like to me. It feels like somebody who, in a different kind of show, this main character that I have to watch all the time, who I enjoy watching. He's you know, lighthearted, he's funny, you know, he's that cute little anime boy guy, he's fine, you know. But I feel like in a different show that was geared to a different audience, I would enjoy it a lot more because he has more depth to him than just, I'm just going to do it again. And yes, I'm struggling, but it's the same struggle I had last season. And, you know, it just kind of more gets tacked on, but that's not really a consequence to me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean by that Paw Patrol effect is, you know, you have somebody who keeps going through the same thing over and over again, and you relate to their struggle and you understand it and you feel bad for them. Thankfully, they've got the strength to overcome it each and every time, but it doesn't really have an overall consequence to their character. You know, well, but again, that's not the kind of show that it is, and that's okay.
Well, that's the thing is I think I like the idea of like, you know, Tanjiro comes around and they're like, and everybody kind of realizes this is our moment. This is what we've waited 1,000 years for. This is where we can turn the tide and win this thing. Like this, like something about this boy, something about him is how we're going to complete this and how we're going to pull through and how we're going to win.
Yeah.
And so Harry Potter kind of deals with this as he, you know, Harry Potter goes around and being like, I didn't ask to be the chosen one. I didn't ask to be the chosen one. But at some point he kind of is like, I'm the chosen one. Don't you understand how hard that is for me? And I think it's like Ron that says to him like, dude, are you so far up your own ass that you don't understand how much bigger this is than just you? Yeah, you might be the chosen one, but everyone is involved in this. And it's kind of that thing of like Tanjiro, in a way, is the chosen one. Like he's not referred to as that. He doesn't refer to himself as that, but you know, he is kind of the chosen one. He's kind of something about him is the reason why everything is changing, and everyone realizes this. Yeah. But what I like about it is Tanjiro understands that this is bigger than him. You know, he sacrifices his own stuff, you know, but I also like that his flaw is sometimes he doesn't know what to sacrifice. He doesn't know what to do. You know, the end of season 3 really shows that. He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what the right decision to make is.
I have not finished season 3.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into specifics. Like, no spoilers. But
I was sweating that moment. That was a great scene.
It was super good, and he's thrust into this position of what do I do? You know, what am I how am I supposed to respond to this? And I like that. Like, I think that's the kind of the humanization that's needed. Like, sure, it's not this crazy thing where, you know, Yuji goes through a lot of stuff where he loses, and he does it so much in season 1. In season 1, I would say everything comes naturally to him.
Well, he
like,
loses
where they're like,
once
Yuji,
in the beginning in that gym
Yeah.
fight against that
To set
special
everything
grade.
off. Yeah.
right, but that doesn't really count. But like, they're pretty much just like, usually we need you to do this thing right now, and he's like, okay, watch
Oh,
this,
yeah.
and then does the thing,
Yeah.
and it's great. I liked that. It was refreshing, but it was kind of like, okay, so everything comes easily to this guy, and then season 2 comes around, and it's like, okay, never mind. Actually, that is not the case. But like, I like that, like, the idea that Tanjiro is the chosen one, but he's not up his ass about it. Like, other people have to sacrifice stuff, but they're okay with that because they're like, we're not sacrificing for Tanjiro, we're sacrificing this for the good of everyone, and how fire is that? And
Right.
Tanjiro's flaw is that, as good as he is, sometimes he's almost too good to a fault where he just doesn't know what to do. You know, is there a lesser of two evils to him? You know, it's that kind of thing. And I think that they do that really, really, really well, where it kind of counteracts, you know, kind of any issues of, you know, or the Paw Patrol effect, as you would call it.
I think that's going to go down in history.
The Paw Patrol
The
effect.
Paw Patrol effect.
Patrol.
Yeah.
I think y'all need to sit your white butts down and finally, start to finish, watch every episode of Naruto.
I'm
Watch
wondering when the Paw Patrol Jujutsu Kaisen crossover is gonna be, or Demon
I'm
Slayer.
wondering when I'm going to finish what I was just saying. How's that? How's that?
Naruto?
Bryce,
I'm not going to
Bryce?
finish Naruto. I'm sorry.
Bryce,
I'm not gonna do it.
put that Ava counter up one more. Ava.
All right.
Wait, there's an Ava counter?
Yep. I
Yeah.
made
Oh!
an Ava counter when you guys
I-
weren't looking.
That
is
funny.
I think y'all need to watch Naruto, and especially you, Josh, because I think when I look at Tanjiro and I look at him being this chosen one, and I see a different way they could have written him, I think of Naruto. I don't think they should just do him again, but when I think of their differences, Naruto said from the beginning, like, y'all, it's gonna be me. Like, I'm telling you, day one,
Right.
it's gonna be me, and everybody's like, no, it's not. And then everybody's like, please, Naruto, won't it be you? And he's like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it will be, won't it, huh?
Mm.
And I think that just works out so well to have your chosen one who is like, it's not because he just thinks like, I'm better than
Sure.
all of you. You know, it's
Right.
not that. He's not that high horse. It's just like, I don't even know how to articulate it. So I see somebody who's kind of put in the same situation as him. All the family's gone, save one, and that's, you know, part of the main story. And you've got to prove, not, I guess Tanjiro doesn't even have to prove. He's not even ever thinking about proving it. Naruto does. That's a different show that they have. But I just see a lot more depth to that main character than this one. And they serve different purposes. And I really love the purpose that you found in Demon Slayer. I think that's the best way. I don't think you could look at it a better way than the way that you have. And I really like looking at the show through that lens. I think it works well. I guess that's just why I don't fall in love with the show in the same way as much as I enjoy watching it, because I feel like I've seen someone do it a little bit better. So it's hard to fully just like give my heart to it. But I think we get different things out of the same show, or of the two shows. And so that's why you can, because you're getting something out of it that I don't enjoy as much. And I think that's great that we have those two
Sure.
different views on it.
I get that. Bryce Kuhn, what do you think about Demon Slayer?
I haven't finished it.
But what do you think about it?
I think it's good. I don't have really a strong. I'm very like lukewarm in my opinion with Demon Slayer. I recognize it's a good show. I understand why people like it. I have nothing really of note. You guys kind of covered everything, to be honest.
Let me ask you this. What's your favorite anime? Because like I've whenever I've asked you this, the answer has always changed. At one point, it was Demon Slayer.
Yeah, because that did episode 19 or
19,
whatever
yeah.
of season 1. That
The
shit blew me
spiders.
away. Yeah, that
Mhm.
spiders episode.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That
So
shit was
good.
crazy, dude.
So good.
Yeah, it really changes. You guys know me. I don't like to stick to one thing.
Sure.
I don't know about that. I don't know
But,
anything about that.
Yeah, Demon Slayer, it's a good show. I fell off at season 2. I wasn't like that into it as much as other people were. I thought the animation was cool, but I wasn't like.
Did you
Let's
not see them dressed
go.
up as girls?
I did see them dress up as girls. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a preference. But I do have a question for both of you while you guys were talking about this. Whenever you guys any show, it doesn't have to be anime or anything like that. Because when we talk about like True Detective and how much it fucking sucks, I find it hard to critique a show on such an analytical level, or on such a detail-oriented level. And I try to put myself in like the writer's shoes and being like, how would I do that? How would I make this better? And I feel like since I can't come up with something better, I'm just like, well, it's the best they got, you know? I was like, I don't know how to write a show, and so it's hard because I remember for all you lunchtime Cody co-watchers, there's a video he has where he roasts Darman in like one of his videos. Do you guys know what Darman is?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
it's like the motivational speaker like kind of guy. Cody Co was like roasting his stuff, and Darman was just like, hey, like I see you like making content out of this. Like, how about you try? I can give you a script and like make one of these videos. And Cody Co's like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And he's like, this shit's gonna be so easy. It's gonna be like a breeze. He's like, this was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Like just sitting there, like trying to write a script that has like a theme, a meaning, like, and it's like nothing too profound, like nothing like crazy. You're not writing a True Detective season 1, a Breaking Bad kind of thing. But it's like, it really puts you perspective whenever you criticize something that a lot of people put in a lot of time and effort towards. It kind of, I find it like, I don't have the right to be able to say this is bad, you know?
I completely understand that viewpoint, and I think that that's super valid because I have that all the time, especially with like, you know, sometimes I'll scroll on TikTok and someone will be like singing something, and I'm like, oh, you know, like you can be like, that's not good. But then I'm like, well, it's not like I could do much better. Like, if I uploaded the clip doing the same thing, it's like mine would be much better or anything. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think that makes it devoid of criticism. I hear what you're saying, and I would agree, you know, and I think the Cody Co example is actually super perfect. You know, he kind of got humbled twice when he did the kombucha guy. The kombucha guy, like, kind of was like, like, okay, come over to my house. Yeah. And then he was like, okay, so now he's like, are you gonna say that to my face, sort of thing? It was kind of the thing, like, which I thought was great. I kind of think it doesn't make it immune to criticism just because I can do it better. When it comes to True Detective, though, I know for a fact I could have done it better because the entire time we were watching it, Ryan and I were like, okay, this would have been better if this happened, though, and it would have been better. Yeah. So I think for the most part, I would agree with you, is that I find myself in that thing all the time of, if I couldn't do this better than they could, you know, if I don't even have the ability to do this thing, could I, you know, do I even have a right to say anything about it? And most of the time, probably not. I should just shut up. Still gonna say it anyways because I love chatting shit.
It's also like the vocabulary you use when you talk about something. Because if you can constantly are downplaying something on how bad something is, I think you need to have very good like criticism, as in like, oh, this wasn't good, and here are the bullet points why. Like, here is like this.
Right.
Like, this character isn't fully developed. I don't care about this, and the reason is because of blank, blank, and blank. And like that kind of stuff. And I think if you're just saying, oh, this is bad because like whatever stupid excuse you have that's not like really like breaking stuff down, I think it comes off more as an asshole rather than like actual critique of something.
100%. Like, I think people need to be more comfortable with just saying, you know what, I just didn't like this, or this just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? You don't have to shit on everything you don't like. Just because you didn't like something doesn't mean it was bad. Or whatever, you just didn't like it, and that's okay. You know, there's several things that I don't like that objectively is good and stuff like that, and I can. And so it kind of took me a while. Like, I think some people just don't even know they're doing it. I know that I didn't. Like, that's just kind of how everybody talks about everything, is that if you don't like something, you're kind of just going to like tear it apart, and sometimes for no reason. And then once I kind of realized I was doing that, because I think you're completely right, Bryce. I had that same thought of like, wait a minute, I'm just being an asshole. And because like, I don't have any like, no, this thing is good, I just didn't like it. And what, I'm pissed off because I didn't like it? Like what, why am I talking about it like this? So I think you're completely right. People just need to be more comfortable saying, I just didn't like it, it just wasn't for me, and whatever. And if you have criticism, then please share. It just better be like valid and not you just tearing something apart for the sake of doing so. So very astute of you, Breskin.
Thank you, Judge Ginn.
Well, Bryce, I think I've answered your question the last hour in the ways that I
absolutely 100%.
Analyzed Bryce's, Josh's response to Jujutsu Kaisen 2 and my analysis of Demon Slayer. But I will add, when it comes to American television, we live in an age right now of studio control. They are the ones that supply the money to every facet of the show. And as such, they currently hold the rights to directing, to casting, to every cent of the budget and how it gets spent. If there's some son of a son of a son, some 23-year-old consultant working at Paramount right now who got nepotism hired, and he thinks that this character on this very emotional drama needs to be bustier for an episode, he gets the decision to do that.
Yeah.
Because he holds the purse strings, right? That's the world that we live in right now with the creation of American television media. So unfortunately, as critics while watching it, Josh and I are very vocal about our distaste for what we saw in True Detective. That's where most of my criticism lies. Is I know that these are very talented writers. Obviously, these are very talented writers. There's no question about that. But are they allowed the free when money comes into play in art? That's been the discussion forever with art, right?
Absolutely.
Is once money comes into the portrayal of art, it ruins everything. And I think that's what you're saying. You had a guy who he's probably not the greatest writer. He'd probably admit that. The guy that created True Detective, I think he just had an idea and wanted other people to kind of see where they could take it. And when you have that, and then other people get on board, and then you probably conflict a little bit about what should go where, Now you have to compromise, and you have to find an avenue that everybody is lukewarm happy with, and then you have the studio come in.
Show.
Yeah, and then you have the studio come in and say, we don't like this, pick it out. And now you're left with these just scraps and bones. But you're already 2 years into the production of the show. You just got to make it at this point. But then now you're actually recording, you're actually shooting. You say, oh, we don't have the budget for this. We don't have whatever for this. Oh, an actor dropped out here. You have so many more bone picking until finally you're just left with, excuse my language, piece of crap. And I think that's kind of what you get is it's not because the writers are bad or the director was bad. You have to deal with and this is again talking to someone who has no industry experience whatsoever. This is my interpretation of what I feel like I'm likely seeing as an end result and how we got from A to Z, right? This is complete ignorance talking, but this is my hypothesis, I think that's how we get from what was probably a great idea with a great premise. And you see that in episode 1 and maybe episode 5 or whatever, even in season 2. It's got some stellar episodes, like the shootout episode. That was somebody's love child right there. Somebody really wanted to see that happen and spent a lot of time and effort to make sure that happened well, and it did. But that's a dime a dozen, right? That doesn't happen a lot because you have so many other factors that go into play. You could probably pick your favorite TV show that you liked as a kid, or think of a show you're watching now. Go back and watch it in 20 years, and you're going to say, "Wow, this set doesn't look nearly as good as I thought it did."
Yeah.
And that's because you're kind of more aware now of where the purse strings are being pulled. You realize, oh, the directing was so good here. The acting was so good here. I didn't even realize all these other problems going on right now. So I like to think, at least, not that you were criticizing me, but if there was ever a defense I need to make of my very intense criticism that I make sometimes.
It wasn't specifically. No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, at least just for my own self to say it and hear it is, I like to think that I consider all the many different facets that must go into the end product.
I consume a lot of media. All right, whether that be social media or like YouTube, that kind of like crowd. And the people that have like specific platforms that may have a following and may not, some of the things that come out of their mouth, I'm like, if the person that was like made this in front of you right now and you said all these things, they would fucking hate you. They would fucking hate you. And like, since like this, what we have right now is like such a public setting, or without this, like in private or whatever, I never want to be able to like be perceived and like have a person that like spent so much time, love, and care into a TV show that maybe, or a movie like that did turn out well, like didn't go well. I'm not going to say that like they did a bad job. Like, I'm sure they tried their best, with what they had. And again, what you said was like the production persuasion. It's like, I don't know. I just like some people with specific audiences kind of just piss me off sometimes. That's all.
No,
that's,
yeah,
that's kinda like the thing.
I totally understand, and I think that we're in a cesspool of parasocial relationships with social media. And honestly, I don't even have anything new to contribute to that conversation because thankfully most people are talking about it to a very large extent. And, unfortunately, I think a lot of content creators are sometimes too small to even be like, y'all are having a like, I don't know, are they? Like,
Yeah.
Are you big enough to really make it or not? But no, I think that's a big problem. And while we're talking about it, though, I don't really see it being fixed, No. If anything, people are kind of leaning more into the vitriol because they know that a bigger discussion is happening and happening and happening. And maybe they get to be at the center of it because now they're like the perpetrator. But that's fine with them because it's still the attention that they were seeking in the first place.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for answering my question. I appreciate it.
Great. It was a great question, and it's something that we constantly need to be thinking about. As people who are now dipping our feet into content creation, and how are we going to take criticism as it goes? Are we going to take it personally? Yes, we are, because that's who we are.
I will personally shit and cry if you say anything bad. Don't
I'll kill myself live on stream. I'll do it even right now.
I think, though, that is one of the many, many benefits that we have with this intention of not playing the game, right? We're not going to... I don't know if we should ever even put ads on anything we do. We could just not monetize anything that we do. Because here's another problem that comes into that. Let's say we turn on ads. Well, I don't want a McDonald's ad on my thing. They're supporting IDF. I don't want a McDonald's ad. I don't want a Starbucks ad.
Josh goes,
they're sending money to kill children in other countries. I don't want that ad in my space. But so now I have to take them off. Well, guess what? Blue Food Chew, dog food might be good today, but then tomorrow they're killing puppies in Afghanistan. So now I got to pull all my videos at an ethical standpoint to get them out of here.
I think from what you're saying about an ethical standpoint I think it is already stressful enough to even try to consider which company is doing what bad things because they all are.
That's exactly my point. I'm saying that's why I think we should just never do ads.
I don't want to take a revenue source that if this is a place that we do end up becoming whatever, I don't want to take that out of the equation. To be completely user funded would be fantastic. I'd love
that. That's all that I would
exactly what I would want.
Yeah. And even then, and we've talked about this too.
Yeah.
So anybody listening, congratulations, you can hear a little bit of the plan here.
Yeah.
If we ever go serious with something like Patreon, we're just putting it at $1. We're just putting it at whatever the lowest thing is, because we're not here to make a buck. If we somehow come into a little bit of money because we're having fun here anyway, that's awesome. That pays for my $20 a month Adobe subscription to produce videos out of our content. Anything beyond that is up for grabs for the three of us. But that's going to buy, me the Mexican food that I went out and picked up today. That's what it's going to be. I'm going to keep my job. 99% chance, 99.999% chance. So yeah, that I think is going to be good for the content we make, because it's impossible to sell out when, you're never taking a dime from anybody.
Yeah.
And you're kind of uncancelable, from that standpoint, because you didn't take money from whoever.
Who knows? We are in a public forum.
We're not going to, but my point is, we're not going to have some video in our backlog where we said, go buy Raid Shadow Legends. The CEO of Raid Shadow Legends just killed 19 people in a drunk driving accident.
I think that would be half the
head of Dead Zone.
I think it'd be half of the Earth's population would get canceled if the Raid Shadow Legends person
it would just be us.
Killed.
We become
19
the Raid
people.
Shadow Legend channel. Yeah. They hired the three of us to do all
well,
of their
bummer, because that was going to be my next stream suggestions.
That'd be crazy if we played the game just for free. We're just here to play the game.
Yeah.
We actually
like the game.
Wait, y'all like this
really
game?
like Raid Shadow Legends. What's the deal?
That'd be crazy. So yeah, I think we're in a very safe place in the future. I feel good about our future because we're not going to ever have to come into those kind of problems.
I think the future of us three getting married, I think, is awesome.
It's really it was never it wasn't ever a non-zero situation. Like there was always some percent chance, but that percent chance is growing every day.
Yeah, and
like,
also Twitch chat, like we want to marry you if you're of consenting age.
So send over $50 to Ryan Holland at PayPal.com.
That's really awesome. I can't wait to marry you guys in the future. It's gonna be really fun to see all of our chatters at our wedding. They're all gonna be there because we are best friends. We are your best friends. We are developing parasocial relationships with our followers each and every day. I want
they're
you
developing
guys.
them with us.
Yeah, no, I am developing
Bryce,
them with them.
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
I don't know.
I love when they comment. I just know who they are.
We've got a guy in a chair that is like evaluating each and every person that comments. That's in our chair. Right
you
now.
guys think I'm playing this Minecraft out in the corner? I'm just actually just IP logging. I'm just grabbing.
Yeah.
I'm snagging
Thinking,
your
well,
IPs.
Sakura hasn't talked in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I wonder what she's up
I'm kind
to.
of understanding who they are now as a result of this. I can sort of base expectations now. That's crazy. Bryce, you're hilarious. Bryce, up that Ava counter. Ava.
Fuck. Fuck.
What are y'all's thoughts on digital media versus
Physical
media?
Oh
because
my god.
I will always be a physical media person. If I love it, I want to own it.
Show them shelves.
Of course,
Show them shelves.
oh yeah, but honestly, yes, with gaming, absolutely. But I kind of wasn't even thinking about that because we talked about Ava and bring that counter up. It made me think today. I went to the G Kids website, who they are the distributor for Ava merchandise in the US. And so like if they ever do like a Blu-ray
again.
So if they ever release like a Blu-ray or some
like
special
sit on this
edition,
page.
yeah, you do. It goes through G Kids. They're the ones I went to the page for something today. I don't even remember what. Oh, I wanted to see when they were going to put Blue Giant out on Blu-ray, and I figured it was them, and it was. It's coming out like next month or something, 2 months from now. But I saw that they're doing a 4K, really nice box set of Belle. Have y'all seen Belle?
My cat?
I haven't. I know the one.
No.
It's a pretty fine movie. It's pretty visually, and the story is fine. You know, it's good. It's not a movie I fell in love with, but it's just like a fun movie. You know, whatever. I did buy it steelbook. Found it cheap. I thought I did enjoy this movie. I love physical media. Awesome. But now I kind of sat there today. I wasn't like about to buy it because like I need to not spend money. But it's $51. I found it for $49 somewhere. 4K, already just a 4K movie alone would kind of already be $50 in all honesty. 4K movies are very expensive right now.
Yeah.
Well, they always have been. So for it to be a 4K and this really nice box set, $49 is not bad.
It's not bad at all.
But I've I was like really thinking to myself heavy today, like, do I spend money on a movie that I liked, but not even that much, like that much, and I already own the steelbook, but it's like this really nice collector's edition and 4K. You know, like I love physical media, but I hate limited edition. I hate the forced scarcity.
Yeah.
I know I'm contributing nothing to this ongoing conversation, but we live in a world that can just give you anything always. So why I know why we have forced scarcity, but even then it's still from a business perspective feels like it doesn't make any sense, because in 5 years you could sell the same amount that you scare people to think that you'll only have for 1 year. You know what I mean? Like you could, I don't know, maybe it costs more money to keep production lines open for this item. I don't know. It just seems very silly to me and I hate it. And I don't want to have to think that I might miss out on this, because the truth is, if this only lasts for a year, I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
If it lasts 5 years, I'm going to eventually buy it. So I wonder, I mean, that's what do they call it in business? Your potential loss. That's probably what they have to consider is, okay, if we make this a false scarcity, do we have to consider that maybe with the scarcity we will sell more than if we let it run free?
Yeah.
I really wonder how true that often is, that the false scarcity really would. Think of this is a big conversation with the Mario 3D stars came out on the Switch, because they said, oh, the physical edition we're only selling for this year. And I did buy it, but I would have bought it anyway. Like, I'm going to be the guy to buy that.
I bought it because of that scarcity.
Really? You bought it specifically because of that scarcity?
Yeah, because I was like, I would like this. I know, like, I want to play all of this,
Mhm.
and it's like in a much easier place. But I thought it was really shitty to have it only in just that year
Sure.
to be available, because
I-
I'd want to go back. I would have bought it like later too, but I was like,
Right.
I was forced into doing that, and that didn't feel good as a consumer.
Yeah, I agree. And there, that's a specific one where I'm like, that's an evergreen sale. You know what I mean? Like, people will buy that forever. People, if the 2D All Stars game back on the SNES was still available to buy, people would still be buying that now, full priced. I promise you. So it just seems very strange to me that like, if it felt to me like a move to try to do a sort of Disney Vault situation. You know, the Disney Vault, Disney literally calls it the Disney Vault, which is scary. I mean, it felt like a move to do that. And I don't like that kind of move. I think that's very anti-consumer. And despite my love for Nintendo, I promise you I will be first in line to criticize them when they're doing something stupid. But yeah, that I didn't like that, and I hope that we don't see that kind of thing again. In 2 years, I think. See, 2011 was the 25th anniversary. So yeah, in 2 years, we're having the 40th anniversary of Zelda. That's crazy. Video games are only 10 years old. Think about that. But Zelda's 40 years old. Think about that.
The video games are only 10 years old, but Zelda's
Only 10 years old?
40. It's 40.
Yeah. You guys say words, but I'm not sure what they mean.
Yeah, I
you
think-
just got to become a gamer.
I think
you got to become a
we're-
gamer.
I honestly no. I think we're not dumbing it down enough for Twitch chat. So hold on. Let me pull out Microsoft Paint. Let me see if I can draw you guys a picture.
Oh, Madon. Oh, Madon.
Let me see if I can draw you guys a picture.
Lily, I'll explain this very simply.
You just doxed her.
Nintendo released a version of a game, and they said this will only be available to purchase for 1 year. I don't like that because you as a company are able to produce more, and people will buy this for as long as they have the means to. So I think it's very stupid to limit it to a time because you want to preserve some sanctity of nostalgia, which is what I must imagine was their intention, is to say, hey, we want to try to push sales very much to this quarter or whatever. You know, we know people want to buy this, so let's push the sales all to what this one quarter. So we'll all buy it at the same time. We'll all get profit, guaranteed profit at this one time. I think that is very anti-consumer. I think that is very much something that, you know, is against the people who are actually giving them money. I think that forces them to buy something that they otherwise would have been much more comfortable purchasing.
Okay, Lily. I want you to imagine a lemonade stand. Okay.
Imagine if McDonald's said hamburger only at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
That's kind of exactly it.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
That's kind of exactly it.
Okay, so imagine it, but you could only get it at 1 p.m. on one day.
They have the means to make it any hour of the day.
At any hour of the day, but you want hamburger then, so you're like, oh fuck, I guess I need hamburger now, so I have to go buy hamburger now, even though I want it later, so I'll just save it for later.
Yeah,
forced consumerism is what it is.
Hey Bryce, Ava,
whatever
Wait,
you
does
do,
my
guys.
does my sweater bring the counter up?
I didn't
Yes
even
or
see
no?
it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it
damn
does.
it, that's an 8. All right,
Guys,
guys,
he put it on earlier.
we're gonna keep high scores. Like this is the stream. We're gonna keep a stream high score of Ava counters, and then we'll count each stream.
Lily, that was literally my analogy. Don't give Bryce the credit. He poorly wrote lemonade on the screen in a box. that's what Bryce did. I'm the guy that said hamburger at 1 p.m.
Lily, thank you so much.
Bryce, I said hamburger at 1 p.m.
Thank you.
I said hamburger at 1 p.m.
Thank you so much. I did do that. I did
that
say
even say
hamburger.
lemonade? Is that even
it
what it
did.
said?
I tried to. I tried to make it say lemonade.
Y'all were very worried, and I understand why, about coming up with topics. But y'all, we're some yappers. We can take one thing and run with it.
That is true. That is true.
I think I was the only one that was worried.
That is true.
Yeah.
I was trying not to call out one person very much.
I appreciate it. No, I doubted it. I did. I doubted their power. Sorry, fellas. One out
Guys,
again.
I'm gonna get
kick
really
myself
good
out.
at drawing and then start just drawing you both, just all the
I
time.
think that's great. I noticed you have an iPad in your hand. You didn't just go buy an iPad, did you?
I've had that. That's what I've been drawing on.
Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah.
You
My
used the-
sister used to have had that for like a while, and I've just been using it for like years.
You use the pen.
Yeah. Oh, I can show you guys. I don't know if it's in my room actually. Oh yeah, I got these little sketchbooks. They're like fucking like $5 at like Five Below. I want to like start drawing before I go to sleep instead of going on my phone.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
Oh. Good job, Bryce. Hey. Good job, Bryce. Let's
thanks,
get a
Ryan.
good job, Bryce counter.
Good job, Bryce counter. Stop. You're gonna make me squirt.
I think we've said it at least 3 times.
That's what I was gonna say. It's up
That's
to
true.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's get that
That's
good Bryce
crazy.
counter going. Let's get that good Bryce. Good job, Bryce counter.
God.
I mean, do you want it or not?
I do. I do want it.
Yeah. So, good job, Brits. You know what's so scary? Bryce's name is almost British. Terrifying. Terrifying. I'm the only one brave enough to admit this. Y'all don't even want to say anything because you're so scared.
I think you're almost as brave as Martin Luther King Jr.
Wow. In this month?
Yeah.
You're going to say that in this month?
Yeah, he was very
Look.
brave, just like you are being right now.
Yeah, he's like, was he not brave? What are you trying to say?
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
Was he or was he not brave?
Clearly the point I'm trying to make is that maybe he wasn't as brave as me in this moment.
He wasn't as brave as we thought he was.
Look, the bravest thing anyone's ever done is when a white boy spoke up.
See, like, I think you and Martin Luther King would really have gotten along, Ryan. I think you really would have been friends with him.
Hey, did y'all watch My Friend Martin?
No, what is that?
Josh, there's no way your mother put that on during your homeschooling hours.
I don't even know what the fuck.
Yeah,
you're
what are you
about.
talking about, dude?
Who's
pull
Martin?
Yeah, who
Oh,
is
Martin Luther King. Oh.
And this month,
Hey, come on.
Josh, take the nail. Take the nail, Josh.
who's
Look,
Martin?
Hey, I was brave to ask the question.
Whoa. Wow.
Whoa!
Get the brave white boy counter going.
Wait,
Get the brave white boy counter going. Put it at 2.
how many counters can we end the stream with, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be our bit. That's our
Put a
Wednesday bit.
counter. Put a
Yeah,
counter.
put the counter. Get the counter. All right, so brave white boys at 2, counters at 4, because we have to count the counter. That's so funny. Good job, Josh. We're not doing a good job.
We're
good job,
3
Josh.
brave white
I
boys.
need that for my first kick. I need that.
All right, get the keep counter going. Get the keep counter going.
The king counter. Guys, we can't abuse the counter like this.
That's true. We can't.
All right, get the abuse counter going. Get the abuse. How many? My Friend Martin, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. But it was a video I had to watch. That's funny. It sounds like they sat me down and watched it. Like I had to watch it. They like sat us down and we watched that sucker like every year in school. And it's an animated special. It's probably like an hour long about Martin Luther King Jr. And it's about like this guy. He's a black kid, and he
Is it our friend Martin?
Maybe it's our friend. I thought it was my friend because it's like alliteration, but it might be our friend. It's like a 1 hour special where this like black kid who like kind of doesn't get how racism affects him in the modern age gets sent back in time, and he becomes friends with Martin Luther King Jr. when he was probably like 20, maybe. That's a guess. I don't know. And through the series of events that happen in the past, Martin Luther King Jr. ends up not dying. He doesn't get shot in the end. And maybe it's not just that he doesn't get shot. Maybe it's...
Is this the show?
Yeah, that's it. Maybe it's not just that he doesn't get shot. Maybe he just doesn't become the political activist that Martin Luther King Jr. is. And as a result, when he comes back to the present, like racism is like at a full-time high. Like his Mexican friend is now like washing the floors at the school. And his best friend is like very racist against him and stuff. So we had to watch this like every single year.
Wow.
Which was fine. Like we enjoyed it, but the ending of the special, it ends with 2 things. You watch the footage of Martin Luther King Jr. being assassinated.
All right.
You watch the guy come in and shoot him, and
Wait, we probably can't show that. We probably can't show that on stream. I'm not gonna try to find it.
yeah. And then it plays "Ain't No Mountain High," and so I think of that song all the time.
That was the point you were trying to
not
get
together.
towards.
Those
That
scenes
was
are
the
not
point you were
together.
trying to get to.
No, that's not the point I was trying to get to. I'm just like recalling information.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, it's like, and this is gonna be a bad comparison, but I hope you understand where I'm going
Oh
with this.
no.
How very Twins mission is that? Where it's like you go through all this stuff and then it's like, okay, wow, now we are watching a real man die. You know what I mean? Where it's like we just saw all this fantastical stuff, and now we're watching a real footage of a man dying, no warning, no nothing.
I feel like I'm being spun out of reality into like the
Wait,
universe
what is
right now by the
Twins
fact
mission?
that you just no, we're not doing this again.
What is
Bryce? We've
Twins
explained
mission?
Twins mission
Hold
to
on.
you
Can you
after we have
What is
together watched Twins
Twins
mission. many
mission?
times.
Oh, Twins mission.
Oh,
I
Twins
know
mission.
Twins
Twins,
mission.
yeah, you know Twins mission
know
because we
Twins
watched it
mission.
together and then we've discussed this many times.
Yes, we
Twins
have.
mission.
By discuss, you mean literally twice. We've discussed this twice.
I cannot believe that in my lifetime I have heard someone compare our friend Martin to Twins
Okay.
mission.
All right,
You're not wrong, but wow.
Yeah, my
And
point
you-
is not to trivialize the death of Martin Luther King. It's
I
just
will.
to say,
is.
like,
I'll
Yes,
pull
it
up.
is.
I'll let Twitch chat see what scene we're talking about.
wait, we
No,
can't do that. We can't show that
definitely
either.
can't show that.
Yeah, we can show that. We
cannot.
can show like
No.
like just a screen cap. We don't have to like.
I
s-
promise
No.
you. I promise you, we can't. We're not going to do justice. They need to just go watch the scene on their own.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I will
Can
quickly
we
recap.
summarize the scene so they
Yes,
get
I
the
will
joke?
quickly. Twins Mission is what was it? A Chinese produced film. It's an East Asian produced film about
It's
twins
Chinese, yeah.
who become spies for the government or whatever. They go on a spy heist mission, whatever. There's some scene in the movie where they're running on a train or doing something on a train. There's an explosion on the train. Okay, that's like 3/4. It's like the climax of the movie. Whatever. Movie ends. You get to the credits. They're showing some bloopers. They're showing some cast reels, et cetera, et cetera. All of a sudden, they say, oh, here's like something crazy that happened on set. They show the
Train
special
scene?
effects. They show the practical effects of the train explosion scene. Whoops. Blooper. Whoops.
But it's
But
it's
it
crazy
shows,
because
like,
it's like
people
no,
with-
here's the thing, it's bloopers. You have like all these like ha look, we're having fun on set, and then it's a real footage of an accident where the train explodes and falls over and crushes a dude, and then they pull his bleeding body out
Yeah.
and are like wheeling him off, and he's like bleeding from the head and all this stuff, and then it goes
likely dead.
right back into bloopers.
Yeah.
And right back
Crazy.
into the funny
Real
moments. It's literally
horrific
such like a
injury.
whiplash.
Likely
Yeah,
dead.
unbelievable.
And yeah,
Unbelievable.
basically that's like our friend Martin. That's what we're trying to say. Our
It's
friend Martin
exactly-
equals Chinese martial action comedy movie.
My friend, Chinese Martin.
What if
This
Martin
is-
Luther King was white or Asian?
This is you if you were white or Asian. This is if you were twins on a mission. This is Martin Luther King Jr. Let's tweet out right now. This is Martin Luther King Jr. if he was twins on a mission, and our friend.
And our friend.
And our friend.
Our friend. We have to clarify that part.
Yeah, get the MLK counter going up.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you remember earlier when Bryce was talking about how he was like, oh, like, would you still criticize something in the same way if the creators or that person was standing in the room with you? Do you think Martin Luther King Jr. would be our friend if he was sitting in our Twitch chat right now listening to this conversation?
I think he'd be really happy that I watched our friend Martin like 8 times in my childhood.
True.
You can't call it the Martin count. It's not the Martin count.
We're on a first name basis with Martin Luther King
Yeah.
Jr. right
We're
now.
friends. What? I can't
I
call
call
him
him-
Martin.
I call him Junior. I don't know about y'all.
No.
I call him MJ.
No.
This is crazy.
Junior is like somebody like you work with saying like, "Hey, buddy," like you know, it's like that backhanded like
I call him
friend.
Bubs.
You call him what?
I call him Bubs.
Bubs.
Yeah. That's just where we're at.
Yeah,
You
yeah. I
know?
mean, that's where
He's like,
that's
aren't,
where,
he's like, aren't you?
that's where
aren't
me and
you
the king
boy,
are at. You know.
He's like, aren't you the boy that watched my movie like 8 times as a kid? I was like, yes, I am.
Yes, I
Bubs.
am. Nice to meet you, Bubs.
Yes, I am. Pop, pop. You got it.
Bub.
Okay. Real story. The president of my school asked us, the student body, to call him Pop Pop. Real, and everyone does. It's
The
crazy.
guy, the homophobic guy, everybody hates.
Yeah. I'm not to get too into that on stream, but yes, yes, that guy. When he joined, he said, "Please call me Pop Pop." This
Okay.
is
That
real.
is crazy.
Kathy
dude.
can confirm, and so can Lily. This
Okay.
is real shit.
I'm gonna be 1,000% honest. I have never heard anyone ever call somebody Pop Pop. I've just like been saying that as a joke for a while now. I didn't know people. I'm sure someone actually did it, but that's wild to hear that of all people, that man's actually has been called Pop. That's crazy.
Real. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Boo pop pop. Boo pop pop. But yes, crazy.
You think like he's a grandpa and that's what they call him, and so he's like, everybody should call me Pop Pop.
I think he was just trying to endear himself to the
like,
student
you won't
body.
think
And
about the fact that I was
come
dating
on,
for a
guys. Yeah.
I'm just
He's
your
like,
friendly neighborhood Pop Pop.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And
Man, we did it. We did it. It's 9:45. As always, is when we get our boon of viewers.
Welcome,
when we
boon of
end
viewers.
in 15
If you're
minutes.
wondering about our counts,
let's go through our counters.
We have our Ava counts, which I guess
Bring it up.
all of these I'll bring up
Bring it
one
up.
because I'm about to talk and I just got flashbanged by my monitor. So we have
got
our
a
Ava
joke.
counter, which is Evangelion. I count that as a 10. Give that a 10er. Good job, Bryce counter. Guys, can I get some good job, Bryces?
Hey,
Good job, Bryce. Good job,
with the
Bryce. Good
counters
job, Bryce.
especially.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's like
I guess
it's like
you
7.
got to bring
Josh
the
gave me.
counter up.
Yeah. Oh my
because
God,
you
dude,
added-
that's so many. The
Six.
counter, yeah, that's like, dude, we got to like 8. Brave White Boy, of course.
I'm sorry. Can you count? There are 6.
What? Oh, you're
There
saying
are
like
6
I thought it's
counters.
every time we mentioned a counter.
You're just like, it's probably 8.
Okay, 6 it is. Kink counter stays at 1. Martin counter,
It's still
that's
at
that's
1.
like at least 4.
Well, you got to put it at 8 because it's how many times that I watch.
Yeah, after we watch our friend Martin.
Maybe okay. We talked about doing, or I talked about doing.
You just scared away all
Dude,
of you.
we scared
know.
him away, dude. I don't
know.
think you're supposed to mention the peak viewer. I think that like
had to,
scares the
because
lurkers.
It happens. It happens every time at like 9:45. It's crazy. I love it. I was saying that maybe like a Patreon thing we need to do is like doing our like voice over while we watch a movie, so people can like watch a movie with Dead Zone. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do it.
Oh,
And they can hear us.
really?
Wait, we should be mewing. We need to be mewing.
Wait.
We're hot. I promise. We're hot.
We got a viewer.
Yes.
Let's go. Yes, it's working. It's working. Keep
The mewing
mewing.
worked.
Keep
It
mewing.
worked.
Veneer stream.
Mew stream.
Wait,
Um,
Veneer smile. Veneer smile.
I do like the Heisman Trophy. How would y'all Heisman? I put my veneers out. Give me on that trophy. But yeah, I think we need to do the Dead Zone Presents. Maybe that's what we call it. I don't know. But our first movie has to be our friend Martin.
Wait, no. Why not Twins Mission? Why can't it be a double feature?
Double feature.
Double feature.
Double feature. Twins Mission and our friend Martin. Back to
Okay,
back.
here's the thing. Okay. I feel like, so you know when people make those letterbox things where it's like movies that this,
Oh
this,
my
or
God.
that's my Martin and fucking Twins Mission.
No, dude. What is it? What is Dead Zone's top 4 movies? So it's My Friend Martin, Twins
Twins Mission.
Chronicle, and
Chronicle, that's
what's
good pull,
what's
good
the
pull.
4th one? What's the 4th one?
Oh, that's a good Gooby. It's Gooby.
It's Gooby.
It's Gooby.
It's Gooby.
It's Gooby. Yeah. Easy Gooby.
Easy Gooby.
Frankly, easy Gooby. Gooby's easy. He's a slut. He's a whore.
Alright.
Gooby puts out. That's what I'm saying.
Alright, so here's the thing though, is we've never seen Gooby, and I feel like it needs to stay that way though.
Just like Chronicle.
Yeah, well.
I think like subscriber special. We watch Gooby.
Like 100 bajillion skrillion.
I've already said, and for anybody watching, you get first views on this. I told the boys 1 million subscriber special, and I guess for YouTube because you don't get a million subscribers anymore on Twitch. Million subscriber special on YouTube. I say a cuss word. So,
Ryan's first ever.
Yeah, Ryan never cusses. I'm the cusser, but
No. I think
I'm
I
totally the
might
cusser.
beat you.
No, what do you
I might
think?
beat you on that.
I think my reactionary is where my cussing comes out, is when I just react. But I don't do it in my regular vernacular. But I think you have it. Like you say cunt. It's like you're like, what the cunt?
I think we all cuss. Okay.
well, literally no.
We're the cussers.
The cussers.
The cussing brothers.
Alright, this sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. We gotta figure out
You
something else.
love the Cussing Brothers. You guys love the Cussing Brothers.
This sucks hard. We just lost 2 viewers when we started talking about
Yeah,
the Cussing
immediately.
Brothers.
It's like, no.
They come back like it's been 2 hours. They're still talking about the Cussing Brothers.
It's like the
How
one
do they
person.
have-
No, Ryan, it's the one person that joined us for our Minecraft stream for the cusser, and then he comes in here and we're talking about the cusser again.
He's like, it's been 8
It's been
months.
like, why are
They're
they still
still
talking
on the
about
cusser.
this?
They're still on the Cusser.
Do they get any? I have to stay and see if they keep talking about anything else.
I still think the Cusser is prime.
And it's
not
not
in
as
relation
good as
to
the
the
primer. The
I don't know. I think it was pretty funny.
primer was good.
The primer was good, but what I loved about the Cusser was kind of this inception of I said to you, Bryce, I was like, you want to know how I got these scars from cussing? And then our foray into what does that mean, the Cusser?
Yeah.
It just gets me so much every time. I love the Cusser. One day, like when we have a million ers, you know, these hard R's of the Joker, I really think we need to like get our community to make like an ensemble. You know, we need like
a Comic-Con of like all the ussers.
Yeah, when we do our live show, people have to dress up as the different Jokers. We got to get the Cusser. Somebody
We would probably have to like
Primer.
dress up. We'd have to do it like a Dead Zone stream where we all dress up as like our favorite.
As our favorite. Well, what do we call these guys? You know, we're building a cinematic universe.
Yeah, we kind of are.
What do we call these guys? The Zoners? Are they the Zoners?
The Zoners? I hate
Yeah.
that. I don't like that one.
That's kind of why I love it, because I hate it so much.
That's probably how
what
our
would
community views us too.
That's a
That's
really
why I
good
love
point.
it, because they hate them so much.
Hey. Good job, Bryce.
Hey, I'm gonna bust.
Yeah, you are.
Guys,
You
we
love
get
it.
10 good job Bryces and I come.
Alright.
Good job, Bryce. Good job, Bryce. I just said it twice. A job by Bryce so good you say it twice.
Is it 10 o'clock yet? 10 o'clock? Just wondering.
What do we even think about this, guys? What do we even think?
All right, everyone
That's
else here, you can leave now. You're good.
No, I'm getting it. No, Ryan's starting his impression round. Okay.
Right.
Look, since yes, Josh, you were here
You said
yesterday,
it like an anime character, dude. You're like, oh, great.
Great.
he's great.
Damn it.
Damn it.
He's in his impression round.
Oh, he's in his impression era.
Gee whiz,
Guys, I'm going to say it. What's your favorite Taylor Swift era?
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing this
I
either.
don't even care if Lily's in the chat. I love her to death. She's my future wife. I'm not giving her that satisfaction.
Wow.
No.
Wow. Okay, I want you to clip this bit and say, we all hate Taylor Swift in unison.
Nope.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
the
a
thing.
great idea.
Here's the thing.
Hate bait.
I hate Taylor
Not
Swift,
hate-baiting.
but I cannot. I'm not strong enough to take on the entire army of the Swifties, bro. I just can't do it. I'll die.
Would you rather take on the Swifties or the K-pop fan base?
The Swifties, bro. The K-pop fan base will kill you.
Like, they'll actually murder you?
Absolutely, they're insane.
You don't think the Swifties will?
The Swifties
Make
are.
the Swifties
pretty
sound weak.
wild, but
I think we clip
Nah,
that and
they-
say Josh says you guys are weak, and like you guys don't even
no, but
like
I
her
don't.
that
Look,
much.
I don't want to fight either group. Please don't come for me. My house is protected.
I think what we need to
My
do.
house is protected by what? A salt barrier? What does
by
that
cat.
mean?
Literally protected
Yeah, by
cat.
Kathy. Kathy's cracked as crap.
That is
Yeah,
true.
she's
She'll
crazy
Kathy
as
is
crap.
cracked
She's
as
crazy as
crap.
crap.
Crazy
Yeah.
as crap, Kathy, bro.
Yeah. Pop, it's like you don't even know what you're talking about right now. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say it, and you didn't want me to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Bad job, Bryce.
Oh,
Bad job,
one
big
off the
price
counter.
take one
counter.
for the counter.
Do we
one for the
take
one off the
one
counter.
away? No,
Wow.
no.
Yeah, you gotta redeem yourself.
I guess it's
You
at
want the
9
counter
because you
back.
did 10.
Wait, what's it down to?
It's down to
9.
9 now. He didn't add the last.
I,
Oh, wait, so
I
Bryce,
sucked
suck-
the
suck your
comeback.
comeback
into
up.
my-
Suck your comeback
up.
I
Suck
sucked the
your comeback
comeback
in.
into my penis. Don't worry,
Yeah.
guys.
I was worried.
Guys, I think we should do
believe
a Dead Zone does a lie detector. like day.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, when we get like money, that'd be really
I think
interesting. I'd like to
I
see
think
that.
that'd be a fun
Back
idea.
into our last bit because I can't let bits die. I think we need to host a like debate. Let's do like a roundtable debate. Does Dead Zone just host? That's it. We don't contribute.
Oh,
but we get some Swifties and some K-pop stands.
Okay, wait,
What
that's
are they called?
actually fire. I like that.
And we have them just go at it. You know.
I think we do it as like a I don't want to say game show thing, but like we have like them joust, you know, on horses.
No, we do the hole in the wall thing.
It's like where are you?
They have to pose.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Oh,
yeah.
And then the survivors from that round, now they have to play Russian roulette.
This sounds more like a calling than a debate.
What?
Okay.
Wow. What a great stream, boys. This was our first Wednesday
foray, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
Is that the word?
Our graveyard. And just a little talking, you know, if you're the kind to watch, you get a little Minecraft or whatever it might be that day. Maybe one day we'll do a little power washer, you know, get a little satisfactory sort of thing going down there. I didn't even play this whole time. I don't know if y'all noticed. I didn't.
I was gonna ask you what map you joined, but I figured I didn't see you playing. So
I got to talk with my hands like some kind of so But no, great stream. 2 hours felt good. Just straight up talking back and forth. I'm gonna have to go in and edit a bunch of ums and uhs out later, but I think that's fine. You know, I think we got into it. I really enjoyed that. So every Wednesday, you know, just a little 2 hour late night
graveyard shift stream.
Yeah. How'd y'all feel about it?
Join. I thought it was good. We'll do our retrospective like topic after stream, but no, it was good. It was good. There were some parts I really liked. Joshua, what do you think? Did you like the Wednesday streams?
No.
Yeah, it was alright.
All right, word.
Y'all, see us on Friday. We're gonna be playing some Sea of Thieves and what?
Sea of Thieves nuts.
I don't think we've
Maybe
follow us on our socials to stay up to date on that.
Maybe we'll do some Fatty Bear's birthday surprise.
We're not gonna do that. Don't listen to Ryan. We're not doing that.
No one knows. Anything could happen. It could.
We could all be. You might see us go live. I'm gonna cut to the chatting three of us. We could all be butt booty ass naked.
That's so true. It's not a non-zero chance.
Yeah, exactly.
There is a % chance it could happen.
It could happen. So be here.
Yeah.
Be the first person to see us, all three, butt booty ass naked, showing hole maybe.
Yeah, we're kind of actually just promising.
We're
kind of saying it's a 100% chance.
No, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah,
but
hidden stream. It's happening hidden. No, please don't.
I was about to do it.
I know you were. You're the bit master. I know you are.
I do have a scene set up on Twitch that says whole scene. So I have our cameras where they're all positioned to where, you know, if we ever want to do that whole stream, we'll have those cameras set up. So
okay.
Yo, go watch our VODs, go watch our TikToks, please. We need to get on this planet. We need to get on this planet so bad. Please, somebody come help us. Please, somebody lust after us. We're begging. We're Bryce. We're begging.
I would love some lust, dude. Some lust towards me would be awesome. I want somebody to just be absolutely obsessed with me to where I think it's to the point of stalking.
Yeah. If I don't have a stalker by 30, I'm killing myself. I'm killing myself.
Yeah, that's just what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm killing myself. So, stalker by 30, somebody get on it. That's all I'm saying. If you want me in this world, want it bad enough. So think about it.
Josh, what do you think? What do you think? Do you want a stalker by 30?
I'm okay.
Well, hey,
Josh is honestly,
Ryan DH,
the most likely to get stalked out of the three of us.
I've already been stalked and I don't want it anymore. Leave me alone.
Hey, that means you're the best equipped to handle.
Yeah, that's true. You have the tools.
First time I tried to kill myself twice. Okay.
Hey, third time's a charm. That's
all right. Thank you guys so much for joining us for Dead Zone. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these two off. Say your goodbyes, you two.
Bye.
All right. I muted them. You can't. They can't hear you. But while that does that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for listening. It was a fun Wednesday stream. We're gonna plan on doing these every week along with Dead Zone tonight, and please tune in for those. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the other side.